How you doing, everyone? Scott back again. First day of my holidays. Been chilling out, doing a bit of gaming, relaxing in general. But got a bit bored, so I thought I'd come up with a wee idea, a wee music community challenge. So I'm going to call this challenge the Ladder of Excellence. So bear with me, right? What I've done is I've picked one good album for my first run, and then for number two you've got to pick a different band and pick two albums back to back that are killer albums. Then for three you pick a different band and then three albums that are back to back that are excellent, because I was thinking, how hard is it to write a great album? Pretty hard. But then to write two albums in a row that are awesome, even harder. Then to write three albums in a row that everyone loves, even harder. Then four, then five. So the challenge is to kind of get as many albums as you can up the ladder, but they've all got to be back to back, so in order. You can't just pick any old albums from the band because they're good. They've all got to be in order. So this is what I do on my days off. Anyway, so I'll start with number one. Pretty easy, I could have picked any album at all, but obviously I just can't use the band again. So I just went for Annihilator. Alice in Hell, absolutely classic thrash debut for number one. Pretty easy. That's it. That's my first run. Number two, I went for a very, very awesome progressive metal band, and I went for Crimson Glory. So this is their debut. Absolutely outstanding album, and then followed up by an album just as outstanding, Transcendence. So if you get the pattern, that's the albums in a row. Two awesome albums, one after the other. On to three. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky, because there'll be loads of bands that you'll think will have three amazing albums in a row. So I actually had a different band for this, but then I changed it. So I went for Tesla. This is their debut, Mechanical Resonance. Amazing. Then on to their second album, The Great Radio Controversy. Followed by 1991's Psychotic Supper. So that is your three in a row for the third run. On to four. I went with another progressive metal band who I absolutely love, Savatage, and this is their 1987 album, Hall of the Mountain King. Then on to, I did use CDs as well, Gutter Ballet, awesome stuff. Followed by Streets, a rock opera. And then number four is Edge of Thorns, which is just an outstanding album as well. So that's my four from Savatage. Now on to five. That's where it gets a bit tricky. I went for Rat, and I started off with their debut, Out of the Cellar. Now I was going to use their EP. It's my game, my rules. You can use an EP if you want. I just decided to start with their debut because I like it better. So EPs, live albums, use whatever you want. Yeah, so anyway, Rat, Out the Cellar. Followed by Dancing Undercover, one of my favourite Rat albums, just awesome. Followed by Invasion of Your Privacy. Then we have Reach for the Sky. And number five is Detonator, which is just awesome as well. So that is my five in a row. Now on to six. Now remember, you've got to be honest with yourself, because I mean, you could like say for certain bands they've got 10 albums but you only like 7. Well, really like 7. I mean, did they really do 10 in a row, or did they do 4 good ones, 1 really average one, and then 4 more awesome ones. So you've got to, they've all got to be in a row. So you've got to get it right. Anyway, next up I went with Y&T, and I started off with Black Tiger, and then on to Main Streak, followed by In Rock We Trust, then on to Down for the Count, followed by Contagious from 1987, and then finished off with a recent pickup, and that is 10 from 1990. So that is my 6 in a row that are awesome albums. Now for 7, let's do this. I'm going to go with Iron Maiden and their debut. So what you've got to really pick with Iron Maiden, do you like later Iron Maiden? Because you can't have, they've got 16 studio albums, so you can't have their debut in with, say, Final Frontier, because unless you like them all the way through. I mean, but I'm only on 7, so I can't have that. So anyway, start off with the debut from 1980, obviously followed by Killers, then the classic Number of the Beast, then on to Peace of Mind, Power Slave. Now you could have added Live After Death if you wanted, but I just went with Power Slave. Then Somewhere in Time, and then finished off with the awesome Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. So that was, what was that? 7. Seventh Son of a Seventh Ladder. Right, and then next I went with, this was a little bit harder just because of the eras of this band, but I could have moved down a bit, I could have moved up a bit, but I went for this certain stack of records from this band. And to start it off, is that upside down? No. British Steel from Judas Priest. On to Point of Entry, which I don't care what people say, this has got some absolutely killer songs in it, and I love this album. Followed by the classic Screaming for Vengeance, then on to Defenders of the Faith, another album that gets shit but I love it, Turbo. Then I went with Priest Live. Out the 2 earlier live albums, this is definitely my favourite. Sorry for those who love the other one. Next up, Ram It Down. Now this is one of my favourite Priest albums. You can say what you want about this album, but I absolutely love it. People especially have a problem with the song Johnny Be Good, but I've got no problem with that song. I think it's a great song, but people really despise that song. I can see why, but I have no problem with it at all, and I love this album. The very first Priest album I ever heard, and I just think it's killer. So that is Ram It Down. And obviously number 8, to top it all off, I could not go without Painkiller. So I mean, you could start off at say Sad Wings, depending on how many albums you want this could get in there, but sadly this is where my ladder ends. I only got to 8, so I thought it'd be a pretty good challenge for people out there. Show off some of their albums, start at 1 and then see how far you get. Try and get past 8 anyway. I thought I would get past 8, but and then I thought, no, maybe not. I do have obviously more than 8 albums from bands, but it's whether they've got an awesome set of albums that came out in a row. That's what kind of gets you. So yeah, just thought I'd put the challenge out there because I was bored, and look forward to see what you guys can put together if you do. So as for now, signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.